Ha'ira Basiam, the city of great multitude of nation, Barabus B'makomon and Ches Daled, in Midrasha Eicha. On this verse, Tani Rabbi Shmuel. So we learn from Rabbi Shmuel, Esrim v'arba paltios hayu b'Yerushalayim chulu, that you had 24 paltios, whatever those are, in Yerushalayim. Ini Malchus nikra ir Elokeinu. Now Malchus is called the city of Elokeinu. Shu olam hadibur, it's the world of speech. Shtei avanim bonos shtei batim chulu. That two stones build two houses and so forth. It's the combinations of letters of the speech of Malchus. Or Parshas Va'era b'dibur hamaschil v'daber Elokim chulu va'era chulu, like it's brought in Torah, or b'dibur hamaschil v'chol banayich lemude binyan al tikri banayich ela bonayich binyan Yerushalayim. And on the Mamar about how all your learners are lemude havaya, they learn Hashem. So don't say your sons, banayich, read bonayich, your builders, meaning those who build Yerushalayim through their speech and in study of Torah. V'hine mailas rabbasiyam. Now the greatness of the city when it has a multitude of nation, hainu kemoshe kasu berov am hadras melech. So it's like it's written that with the multitude of the nation, that's the splendor of the king. So you have the splendor of Malchus by having Rov Am Uperish Kemoshe Kasu V'Kfud Hadar Malchuso, and it's like the verse in Ashrei, and the honor of the splendor of his kingship. Umuvur b'makom acher shumash nimshech alidei kavim tzai tiferes min b'chinas keser Malchus de'Ein Sof, and it's explained in another place that this is what's drawn down through the middle pole, the middle level, when you draw down Tiferes from Keser of Malchus of Ein Sof. So it's drawing down from the highest level through the middle, all the way down to Malchus, from through Tiferes from Malchus of Ein Sof. Ukinyan Melech Hashmini Hadar, and this is like the 8th king Hadar. Was here saying Kvod Hadar Malchuso. So this is like the 8th king Hadar, who Mekur HaTikun is the source for the Tikkun. So you have all the kings of Tohu, and the last king, the 8th king, is Hadar, his splendor, and he's the source for Tikkun that's within Tohu. It's like the Atik of Tikkun or something. Uksiv Bey Vishem Iropo Hu Olam Adibur Chulu, and it says that his name, the name of his city, is Pa'u, which is like Shifra and Pu, I guess. So it's a concept of the world of speech. Just like Pu was speaking to the babies. So Hadar is the world of speech. It's the Malchus of above, the source for Tikkun. And so too Hadar Kvod Hadar Malchus. So is the honor of the splendor of Malchus is the shorish of the dibur as it is within Keser. The Inyan Kaf Daled. And the concept of Kaf Daled, Zeu al derech v'samti kad kod. I'm not sure where the Kaf Daled comes in, but you have the idea of two Kaf Daleds, Hainu Kaf Daled Tzirufei Adnai Chulu, which is the 24 combinations of the letters of Adnai. Ein Mashikas Bepirushim Masai Gadol Kishuhu Be'ir Al Pasuk Zeh. So perhaps it has to do with the 24 letters of Baruch Shem. And look what's brought in the Mamar about Ele Maseh, about so that where it talks about Ele, so it says Mi bara Ele, the Mi and the Ele are the letters that make up Elokim. So that's Mi is Bina, and Eila is like the midos. So when you have the shoresh of and I guess that makes up Malchus, the Dibur, which is Elokim. V'zeu ir Elokeinu, and that's the city of Elokeinu. Giloi mi bara Eila, revelation of who created these. Hepech Eretz Mitzrayim Yitzar Yam, which is the opposite of the land of Mitzrayim, the boundary of the sea, which is like Mitzar Mi, the boundary of the Yud Mem She'ein Bo Gilei Mi Bara Eila, that it doesn't have the revelation of the Mi, who created these, because it has a Mitzar. So it's the Mitzrayim is the opposite of Elokeinu. Therefore we built storehouses from bricks, from the idea of, like it says by Migdal Bavel, let us make bricks and so forth. Let us go and build a city and a tower. So in Mitzrayim, even though it's a land, but it also corresponds with a city, the Ira and the Migdal of Bavel. Like the Arizal says that there was the Gilgul of the Dor HaFlaga, the Tikkun of the Levanim in Mitzrayim. Here the Klippa, so this is a city of the other side, the city of Klippa. And their nurturance is from the letters that are come from the encompassing concept alone. Therefore, they don't need a state of nullification to exist. They're reaching from the makif, like this, the tower that they tried to build all the way up to reach the makif. And I guess the concept of Mitzrayim, also the Meitzar, is also getting from the makif, because it's not miskala and dibur. You don't have the speech. Lachein lokein b'chinas ira lokeinu, which is not the case with the city of Ar Elokeinu, shehos yusmir b'chinas giloi, that the letters are shining in a revealed state. Lachein shama bitol, and therefore you have a state of nullification. V'nikra Yerushalayim yira shalom chulu. Therefore, you have a state of nullification, like Yerushalayim is made up of the words fear and peace and so forth, or Yerushalayim, or complete fear, as is brought in other places. So the fear being bittul, vain mashikasav, b'inyan bilam below look what's brought about Bilam, that he's made of the words without a nation, like without the Ravam Hadras Melech. Ki in Melech below because there's no king without a nation. So whether you have Bilam, you have below so there's ein Melech, no revelation of Hashem's kingship with Bilam. So he's the dibur of Klippa. His speech was neged the kedusha. Al derech leman hakimoscha lihiyos lo la'am, like the concept of, in order to establish you to be for him a nation, in order so that he should be revealed as king. And that's the greatness of the multitude of nation in the city, that when you have, since there's ein melech below when you have the so you have the melech, you have the revelation of the king. So when you have the Yir Elokeinu with multitude of nations, so that reveals the king, the Rovam Hadras Melech, which the Hadras Melech, like we said, is the Gilei HaKeser in the city, is the revelation of the crown of the king in the city. And through the multitude of nation, in the fashion of that, since you are holy, Mamshichim Gilei HaMelech HaKadosh, this draws down the idea of the holy king. So you have a holy nation, so you have a holy king presiding over them. Ubilam Shratza Laharos HaKedusha Al Derech Hanal, and Bilam, who's opposite this idea of, he was below he wanted to destroy this holiness, Be'inyan Kain Kanal, So if dibura maskil yashva badad zeu below am, like with the idea of Kain that we brought in the Mamar of Eicha Yashva Badad, so that's without a nation. Valzen Amar velo ava havai elokecha lishmoa el Bilam, and that's why it says havai elokecha did not want to listen to Bilam, to hear his speech. If Shalom Rabbasi biyud, so why does it say Rabbasi, not just Rabba? Why does it say multitude with a yud at the end? She'afal pishem riboy and bebechinas bitol, that even though they are a multitude, they have the yud of bitol, of the being small and self nullification. Al derech ki kol Rabbi Meretz Yisrael shelamayla mebechinas kol Rav mebavel, like the idea of any rabbi in the Gemara who's called Rabbi, they're from the land of Israel. That's higher than the concept of the rabbis that are called Rav, who come from Bavel, because the land of Israel has an extra nullification to it. And the Mamar on the bottom, it says Seder Tanaim v'Amoraim Besofo Egeres Rav Shrir Gaon Achtam HaSefer HaTikunin Ksav Yad Hu v'Nizbor B'Tchilas Shemar Mari Rashbi Eitz Chaim Shayud Tespet Gimel Nispar al Pasuk al Pidach Bosafas L'Torah or Esther Dibra Maskila Hamala Lama Asid Per Gimel or Torah Sof Pashas Lech Lecha. So it gives the Mamar Makomos V'zehu Rabasi b'yud, and that's why Rabasi is with a yud. Hini al yidei Rabasi am nimshach shi hi kiryas melech Rav, now through the great multitude of the nation. So that changes the description of the city, that it should be called not just Ir Elokeinu, but the capital of the great king. The Kirya, it's called the Kirya of the great king. So when you have Rabasi so he becomes a Melech Rav, as well as the city being changed from being described as an ear to being described as a Kirya. Like it says in Me'orei Oros Mem Sif Mem Daled Melech Rav Nikra Bina, that the great king, that's called Bina. Malchus Bigdulasa, and so to Malchus in its greatness, Ad Kan Lashono. So the king is great, that's Bina, and the city is great, that's Malchus. There's a great king, certainly, the supernal world, and just like in Bina you have big letters. So it says Kiryas Melech Rav, so just like you have middle letters and small letters and the big letters are in Bina, so when you have the something that's called Rav, so that's in Bina because that's where the big letters are. So we're talking about speech, the letters of the ear of the city, and so when you have Melech Rav, a great king in it, that's when you have like big letters of speech. And look, when Zohar Vayigash Tafresh Vav Amr Beis V'Zel Hashono Melech Rav the Malkai La, that the great king, that's the supernal king, the Kol Ilah de Kol Kodesh HaKadashim, higher than all, the Holy of Holies. Vayin Zohar Chelik Beis Yisro Samar Zayin Beis V'Nin Is Melech Le'ela the Ihu Berazah Kodesh HaKadashim. And look in Zohar Yisro concerning that there is a king above, that is in the secret of the Holy of Holies. This shines through this idea of the multitude of nation in the city. She was like a widow, b'me'orei oros aleph, so ferekei almana nikra hamalchus b'hiyos in the kuda ketana, va'az nikra adnai b'ribuah chulu ad kan lashono, that the widow is called Malchus when she is a small point, and that's when it's called Adnai, when you say Aleph, Aleph Daled, Nun, etc., that's called Ribua. That's a lower level of Tziruf. Than other levels, it's more Chitzoni. So that's when Malchus is Nakuda, it doesn't have the Yichud of above. That's the lowest level of Malchus. That's why she's like a widow. That's what the Me'orior says, Adkan Lashonim. V'hu me'halakutei Torah Parshas V'yeshev, and the sources, Lakutei Torah from the Arizal, Gabi Tamar, Al Pasek Vatas, Al Bigdei Al Menusa, where it says that she took off her garments of widowhood with Yehuda. What does it mean, garments of widowhood? That this is the idea of Malchus as it's Nakuda, she went upwards. Visham Perish Nakuda, Hinushi Nakuda Achorei HaYesod, and there it explains what does it mean, the point. That is the point as it is behind the concept of Yesod. Ve'im kein zeu hamayim zoy chile gimel parshas balak dav kuf tzadik alef amad alef al pasuk shchora'ani chulu shchora'ani v'nava. This is what is brought in Zohar Balak on the verse that I am black and beautiful. Zeiru de nekuda, that this is the small point chada, de nekuda chada of 1 point. Umay ihi, what is this point? Yud kedei niskasiyas mikol chelin chulu. Then it is covered from all powers and so forth. When ispor ze merabenu zal shamalchus kishitzrich alavo mebechinas achor ba'achor lebechinas panim bepanim. So what does it mean she's hidden from all? So the Alter Rebbe explains, it's brought in the Biurei Azor Sham, that the Malchus, when it needs to go from a state of back to back to a state of front to front, have a yichud. So as part of that process, before she comes front to front, first there's a detachment of achor ba'achor, and she descends downwards, so to speak, and becomes a point underneath the Yesod, even though here we said it was Achorei HaYesod. But here the Lashon is Tachas HaYesod. V'nekuda zui b'chinas keser Malchus, and this point is the concept of the crown of Malchus, the beginning of the hispashtus of the parts of Malchus. Like the concept of the Kavanos in Shema and Baruch Shem for the building of the Partsufei Leah and Rachel, including the Keser of the Partsufim. And the Malchus is only a point, it's only the Keser, it does not have the spreading out of the other 9 spheros, therefore it's not able to give flow downwards to the lower worlds of Bria Tzirasiyah. So to there it's explained, Mistam in the Biurei Azor, that the Beis HaMikdash, the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash through Nebuchadnezzar, lo haya efshel yos b'shum ofen ilo haya midas malchus that tzilus shora beheichal kodesh kadashim chulu, could not have happened in any way if the attribute of malchus of tzilus was resting in the palace of the Holy of Holies. Because the klippos would melt in front of it like fire, like wax in front of fire. And Nebuchadnezzar would not have been able to destroy the house in any way, only because the divine presence had left the Holy of Holies, that is that the 9 spheres in it went upwards, that through these 9 spheres, in them and through them, it's drawn down to shine into the lower worlds of B'yitzir and Asiyah. Beloni Sharba Nekuda Achas, and it only remains that 1 point, and then it cannot shine downwards at all when it only has this one point. And that's the idea of Ayin black, that the blackness is the opposite of spreading out and revelation of light downwards. And look what's brought in Eitz Chaim, the gate of the lessening of the moon, that explains this clearly there. The men of the great assembly, since they cried out to Hashem in a great cry during the building of the second base of Mikdash, they returned the crown to its old place. And that's what it means. Those strong of strength, those who make Hashem's words. They literally do Hashem's, they fulfill Hashem's words, but they also, you can translate it as they're osei dvaro. They make the dibur, the elyon, they rebuild the malchus above the dibur to bring back the Shechina back into the second base of Mikdash. And Shem, look over there in Eitz Chaim. Vayin me'inyan Haisa Kalmana Bezor Chele Gimel Parshas Fes Chanan Dafrish Sameches Suf Amud Aleph Parshas Mishpatim Kuf Kaf Beis Amud Aleph.